I love that. The only word about I agree. I disagree. Who is the one thing you can look at these teams? Oh.
No, I'm good. I'm totally good, but thank you.
Right.
Just gonna sit right here. So yeah, part of the presentation. All these separate.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Let's go to that.
Oh, it's Cynthia. Yeah. Yeah, but it's those.
I think so. It says. It says there is, so there must be.
Facebook says it's real.
Vitamin C, vitamin B, B something. What's, it's too little for my eyes to see. The B is big and then there's a little thing. You need glasses? Want borrow?
Seems like we need something with vitamin A in it for those eyes.
Yeah. It seems like she needs something in my own business. You want everything in the county to run. It is not as easy as at Buffalo Wild Wings. I have to take a picture of my bill
And blow
and
it
blow it
up.
up so I can figure out the tip because it's so small I can't read.
I have some glasses you can borrow.
Those bifocals, those are all prescription.
We need somebody who's intelligence to get involved.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Here we go. And she said, "No, so
You're in California. Burbank. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Johnny Carson's still like.
What's your name? I'm sorry? What's your name I'm supposed to ask? Oh, Anson Williams. Oh, okay. And yeah, yeah.
Johnny Carson used to tell a lot of jokes about Burbank.
Yes, well, the NBC Studios is right there. in
Yeah.
Burbank.
That's right.
Yep. Johnny Carson came to my wedding.
What?
My father-in-law was head of payroll for NBC Universal.
So Johnny came looking for his check.
No, he came and dropped off
It's a
a check and then that was okay. He didn't have to stay. He left the money. That was all that was.
If I had $1 for every time someone said, yeah, Johnny Carson, he was my guy.
Yeah.
So what drove you?
It was a job transfer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Witness protection.
Earthquakes, wildfires, that drove me here.
Thanks, Ross. I told her that we can check your mic on. Just the middle part. She said, we'll hide in a place called Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
It won't be anywhere near Jersey. Right. Yeah, we'll never find us here.
Okay, this time we'll convene the prison board meeting and ask for approval of the minutes from the previous meeting.
I'll make the motion.
For a second,
One second.
favor side.
Aye.
Aye. Hey, is there any other comments at this time regarding the agenda items only? None from the audience, any online?
No.
And move on to expenditure reports. Everybody has a copy of the expenditures prison and relief center. Is there any questions or comments? Anybody need any more time to review? May I have a motion to accept the expenditures?
I'll move.
Second.
On fair side? Aye. Personnel actions. Work.
Thank you, Commissioner. We're seeking the approval of the following personnel actions. At the prison, it would be Mackenzie King as a full-time correctional officer relief, Donovan Ferguson as a full-time correctional officer relief, Scott Clenard as a full-time correctional officer relief, Billy Mitchell-Tree as a sergeant training coordinator, Ashley Wilson as a licensed practical nurse. And at the pre-release center, Mason Irwin as a full-time resident supervisor, Dwayne Long as a work crew foreman supervisor, and Robert Squires as a work crew foreman.
Okay, can I have a motion to accept the personnel actions?
I'll move.
Oh, go ahead.
I'll second.
Side?
Aye.
Brad, can I ask you, is Mitchell Tree promotion?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to informational reports and highlights population.
Population report indicates that in the month of October, the prison maintained an average of 196.55 males. And at the pre-release center, 35 males for an average daily population of 231.55. There was a peak population of males in the month of 243. Females at the prison, the average was 27. At the pre-release center, it was 14.10 for an average of 41.10 with a peak population of 46. Our average daily population within the prison system was 272.65. There was a peak population of 283 in the month. There was an average of 1.58 males on in-home detention, and there were no overcrowding transfers. So our total population was 272.65. You can see that's about 7 inmates per day more than what we saw in the month of September. The disciplinary report follows, and in the month of October, the disciplinary committee chaired by Deputy Warden Barnes conducted 63 hearings. 58 hearings resulted in verdicts of guilty with lockup time imposed. 4 hearings resulted in guilty findings with lockup time suspended, and 1 resulted in a not guilty finding. Those 63 hearings were conducted on 42 inmates, 12 of which had greater than 1 incident, and there were 19 informational reports generated by staff in that month. Ryan, is there anything else that you wish to add?
No.
Pre-release center report is next. In the month of October, there was an average of 11 males on work release and 2 females on work release. There were 24 males on work crew and 12 females on work crew. Total for the month end average was 34 and 14, and our year-to-date average is 34 and 9. Additional program highlights: all staff attended de-escalation and communication training. That was held on October 14th, and that was led by training supervisors RS2 Doug Ellsworth and RS2 Lane Gibson. The mental health snapshot follows, and the snapshot was taken on November 10th. On that day, there was a total of 303 inmates within the entire prison system, 268 males and 35 females. Of that population, 99 inmates were indicated under roster A, which was 32.67% of the population. 78 inmates were under roster B, that's 25.74% of the population. 116 inmates were indicated under roster C, or 38.28% of the population, and 10 inmates were under roster D, or 3.31% of the population. Psychotropic medications dispensed at the pre-release center. Of the 41 male inmates on this day, 13 were receiving meds, or 31.71%. The 12 females at PRC, there were 7 receiving meds, or 58.33%. And at the prison, of the 206 males on this day, 71 were receiving meds, or 34.47%. Of the 20 females, 9 were receiving meds, and that's 45% of the population. Total percent of inmates receiving meds at the pre-release center was 37.74. At the prison, it was 35.4, and total percent within the entire prison system, 35.8. Move on to the EO reports.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
I'll first start with the report from APO, the program population statistics. There were 0 sentenced, 101 to APO/pretrial referral. The total program population as of November 5th was a total of 101. 66 of which were male clients and 35 of which were female clients. There were 38 program phase 2 clients, 43 program phase 3 clients. The total process intakes to date is 2,291. The GPS and alcohol monitoring services, there were a total of 35 active clients receiving these services, 4 of which were on the alcohol monitor or the TAD unit, 10 on the GPS monitor, 11 on the home guard unit, 0 on the SL3 breathalyzer, and 8 on the Barrel Watch. The total amount of client intakes into the GPS alcohol monitoring services is 3,034. The juvenile overview of services, there are a total of 12 active cases on GPS services through geo monitors as of November 1st, 2025. Moving over to the in-prison reentry report, the current active participants as of October 31st, 45 with 1 pending intake. Since January 2025, there have been 102 total intakes completed, 9 of which were completed in October, 5 of which were done at the release center, 4 of which were done at the prison. There was a total of 67 ORAS assessments completed, 13 of which were done in October, with 1 being at the release center and 12 of which were done at the prison. There was a total of 2 transitional action plans that were created, 9 done during the month of October, 5 of which were held at the release center, and 4 of which were held at the prison. Sessions completed, there was a total of 347. For the month of October, there was a total of 40. 24 of which were done at the release center and 16 of which were done at the prison. The total participants in the in-prison program for release from incarceration is a total of 91. 32 referrals appointments that were made and 439 resources that were given. The total referrals made to the in-prison reentry program is a total of 128, 121 of which came from the prison, 7 of which came from the release. Of the total referrals made to the in-prison reentry program, 26 participated in the program, 3 were released from incarceration prior to being seen, and there were 0 people who were referred that did not meet the criteria of the program. For the month of October, there was a total of 12 referrals. All those referrals broken down throughout the year, a total of 10 probation violations, 10 max out, 77 new cases, 23 domestics, 8 contempt, 0 pretrial, and 3 court. The reentry services statistics, there was an average population per day of 100, 17 total intakes conducted, 26 total discharges, 15 successful completions. There was also a total of 103 electronic monitoring participants, 24 of which were adult, 57 of which were pretrial, 16 of which were juvenile, 6 of which were Barrel Watches. That's all I have to report. Thank you.
The final reports in your packet are reports for the board's review regarding the programming statistics at the prison and the pre-release center, along with some of our statistics regarding the mental health contacts for the month of October. The additional program highlights are on October 3rd. I participated in a prison inmate medical cost containment board meeting. On October 6th, Deputy Warden Ebner and I attended the Lycoming County CJAP pretrial subcommittee meeting held here in 3rd Street Plaza. On October 8th, Deputy Warden Ebner and PRC Manager Thompson attended the PMA Workers' Compensation Injury Reporting Training that was also held here at 3rd Street Plaza. On October 10th, Prison Administration led a tour of the prison and the pre-release center for members of the prison union leadership, AFSCME. On October 20th, Deputy Warden Ebner and Counselor Michaela Bernozzi participated in a virtual behavioral health regional summit, and that was hosted by the Pennsylvania Office of Behavioral Health. And on October 30th, prison staff attended officer safety training. That training was conducted by Training Sergeant Billy Mitchell-Tree. And those are all of the informational highlights.
there any old business at this time? Hearing none, we will not have an executive session. So we'll move on to new business. And that's for a ratification for job abandonment of Dalton Confer, and I've asked for wording to elaborate on this.
This, Dalton Coffer was hired as a correctional officer, full-time correctional officer relief on September 16th. He participated in his 4 weeks of training and then was added onto our schedule and was working as a full-time correctional officer. He was a no-show for work on November 5th, and on that date, Lieutenant Rogers was the shift supervisor, reached out to Mr. Confer, tried to contact him, left him a voicemail, and received no phone call back. Mr. Confer then was a no call, no show for work on November 6th, November 7th, and November 8th. On November 8th, Sergeant Stetz attempted to contact Mr. Confer, also left him a voicemail asking him to call back, and he has not. I sent Mr. Confer a letter yesterday letting him know that he was a no call and no show for work on 4 consecutive days. And as a result, we've determined that he's abandoned his employment at Lycoming County Prison and that he was no longer an employee effective immediately, and that we would be ratifying that decision at today's prison board meeting. We also received some correspondence from the local assistance office indicating that he was applying for some form of assistance. So it's apparent that he is not indicating that he wishes to return to work. We'd be seeking the board's ratification of his job abandonment today.
Is there a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any additional new business? I do have a question for the court's PA's office. The current trial list, what is it at currently? Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Because it fluctuates from trial term to trial term.
Okay.
And we still have guilty pleas today, so there are cases that come off the list that plead because we have a scheduled jury selection on Monday. I don't know if that's going to go or not.
Great. We had learned the other day that it's approximately 1,100 cases. So we're concerned about what that's going to do to the prison in the future, population-wise, that many cases.
We do have a boatload of trials, potential trials. Probably have at least, looks like maybe 3 courtrooms going.
She says somewhere between 200 and 400. It's as high as 1,100.
I think 1,100 is too large, to be honest with you, just based upon what I know. Because they're not, let's say it's 1,100, but then that means there are cases that were just put on the list last week that aren't ready for trial, so that they want to go to trial, but they're just not ready. So the better question I would think is how many are on the list to go to jury selection on Monday, and that's usually not more than 50.
We were informed some of these cases have been sitting there for a year.
They could be major cases with a lot of discovery issues. We have 13 homicides in the system that all require pretrial motions. So they're all going to be part of that calculation too. But in any given day, a case can decide to plead because an offer is made, or a defendant decides to accept the plea. And I could be reached out to at 8:30 saying, can you do a plea at 1:30? We hope the sheriffs can bring the person. So we don't delay that at all, but that's always a part of the mix too.
Right, just the concern with that many cases and what will do to the prison population going forward. Backlog there.
That's built on the person.
Completely understand, but everything fluctuates just because of the nature of the seasons and and how much time there's been since the last term, and the willingness of the defendants to accept responsibility. So I'm not getting any alarm bells from anybody in the system that we have an exceptionally large number of cases that have to go to trial, or they're at risk of being released because of Rule 600, or they're at risk of being dismissed as a result of Rule 600. We had that issue after COVID because of all the challenges, but we are way past that.
Do you know percentage of continuances?
I don't know that we necessarily track that,
Okay.
but continuances come from both sides too. Witness unavailability, expert unavailability, so I haven't continued, but maybe one case that's on the trial list that I'm aware of for the upcoming jury selection next week. So as far as I know, everything's full steam ahead. You're welcome.
Any other new business? Or comment at this time?
I guess I think it's appropriate at this time. I'd like to recognize Solicitor Brian Bluth, who is remaining in the position of solicitor for the prison till the end of the year. However, he has a conflict in December and will not be attending the prison board meeting. So today is his last prison board meeting. I'd like to thank him for his service that he has provided, his guidance, his legal expertise, and for me personally, his friendship. And so I wanted to at least acknowledge him today and make the board aware that he won't be here in December. So this is our last opportunity to thank him publicly.
Thank you, Brian.
There's a rumor that after he retires, he's just gonna come to the meetings as a citizen. Just walk. I don't know if this will be the last time, the last meeting here.
So I'll wake up.
I know where I'll put my money.
You don't have to wake up every second Friday at 8:30 thinking, where am I supposed to be?
Right.
Yeah. Well, thank you. All right, any public comment at this time? Okay, it's your future prison board meeting, December 12th, 2025 at the prison. Want to go into the next year. Later agenda, so it's adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.